Hi, welcome to the Jeff and Jerry Show. My name is Jeff. I'm the borough manager of Mount Pleasant, and my co-host.
Jerry Lucia, Mayor of Mount Pleasant.
Well, Jerry, it's fitting today that we have Rick Fike in the middle of us.
Oh, yeah, it sure is.
You know, because he's always been, even though he was behind the scenes a lot, he's been an integral part of the show, and he filled in many times.
Oh, filled in a lot of times and knows the town inside out now. We did some great shows, Main Street show, and down at the gazebo, and the events we had, the Glass Festival. And
well, you're letting the cat out of the bag a little bit here. Today we're going to have a show, and it's one of those shows where, you want to do it, but then you hate that you're doing it. And I guess I'll just come right out and say that, Rick is the, and what's your position again, Rick?
So I'm the producer of local programming for Armstrong.
Okay. And Rick is going to be leaving Armstrong, I guess rather shortly now, right?
Yeah, as of when this is airing, I'll be finishing out this week.
And I don't know. You've been such a part of us every week. We do our show every week, and so we probably talk 3 or 4 times a week, and it's always discussing the next show and what we're going to do and where we're going to do it at. And you were always talking to us, and pretty soon that won't happen.
No, it won't. It won't, and hopefully, we stay in touch, and through the Glass Festival, I still plan to be a part of that, and for sure come and enjoy it, but help out behind the scenes, and for other things. I think there'll be every now and then I'll be like, maybe I'll give Jeff or Jerry a call on this. I got a question about something, like I call you now every now and then.
Yeah.
Hey, where's a good place to get some wings? So yeah, it's bittersweet. It really is.
And so because of that, I think we need to ask a few questions.
Sure.
First of all, how long have you been with Armstrong?
So I started in May, and it was the year, it was 5 years that I was here. So it would have been May of 2016 that I started.
And you took over for Seth.
Yep.
And I think he took over for, you remember her name?
I still get mail to her attention sometimes.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what her...
Yeah, Seth was there how long?
I don't know. Seth was there, I think I want to say he was in the Connellsville office close to 5 years.
Yeah.
I might be wrong on that. Sorry, Seth, if you're watching. I can't remember for sure.
Yeah, it's been about the same time. So, you're leaving Armstrong. Do you want to talk a little bit about why you're leaving?
Yeah. So, someone close to me said not too long ago, there's times and seasons for everything, and that would kind of be my best way to describe the move I'm making. And if you know me on a personal level, or maybe even know me through watching some of these shows on the Armstrong Neighborhood channel, I'll say this: if you know me, you know that I love what I do,
Yes,
and I enjoy what I do, and I have a passion for what I do. And I hope that it's even translated, if you don't know me personally, that you still sense that through watching some of the content we've produced over the years, or maybe even some of the interviews we've done. There's no mistaking that, first of all, I never thought I would be running a television channel. I never thought I would be, have that opportunity, because in your mind you think, well, I got to go to a big city to do that. I never thought that would happen, but then once I had the opportunity to do it, I have said more than once that this was really just, it was a dream job of sorts for me to be able to do what I love, and have so many people watch it and enjoy it. It's a very rewarding thing. At the same time, my family is we'll say evolving, it's growing, and there comes a time where there's a time that I can sit back and be comfortable and enjoy what I'm doing. There's also a time where I can decide that, okay, now there's an opportunity that comes along that is really, really in my family's best interest, and that's kind of where I landed on this decision to make a move. It's not because I don't love what I do. It's not because I don't appreciate Armstrong as a company. Armstrong's been fantastic. It actually has nothing to do with anything Jerry's ever said to me, believe it or not.
No, you're kidding. I thought maybe we'd have
No, not
an
at all.
announcement here.
No. Jerry's, you guys are among the best to work with, and I really do have a great crew, and I don't know that I'll get the opportunity in any other forum to kind of brag on the other hosts, and maybe we can take some time and talk about them a little bit here in a minute. But yeah, it's really just it's an evolution of life, and it's time to make a change personally for me, and that's really kind of how I would describe it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Rick. You've been great to work with. I mean, we've gone into a lot of shows and had to change some things around. And,
Wing it all the time.
but you were a leader in producing the shows, and it always worked out well. It always worked out well.
I appreciate that, and you guys made it easy. You are one of my highlights. You have been one of my highlights of the week. Seeing you guys, and there was no other show that I did more consistently than the Jeff and Jerry show. So much so, when we started out the Jeff and Jerry show, do you remember what it was called? When I took over, it was still under the previous name.
Something Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant, you remember?
Yeah.
Up close.
Up close.
Up close.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant up close.
Up close.
And
But we evolved.
we did.
And I think that's what, as you were talking, I'm thinking to myself, everybody who's watching and listening, they have to look at their lives, and everything evolves. If you don't, you get stagnant,
Yep.
or you fall back a little bit.
Right.
Evolution is not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not, and it's actually a great thing. It can be a little uncomfortable and difficult. I'm kind of in the middle. As we film this, it's a Wednesday, so this begins airing. You're watching this either Monday through the following Sunday. So we're a few days before you're seeing this, that we're airing this, and I'm kind of in the middle right now of making my rounds. When I saw Jeff, I came in and he said, how's it going? I said, well, I'm making my rounds. And I'm kind of in the middle of that right now, and believe me, it's not easy. It's not just a matter of, hey, to my boss, hey, I'm pursuing another opportunity and I'm finishing up this day. It's, okay, that's step one of many. So now I need to speak to the local, the mayor, the mayors of the other communities. I'm on a great board for the Heart to Hope Telethon, for Connellsville Area Community Ministries.
He's done a great job with that.
Thank you. And these are all difficult discussions, and everybody, I mean, every single last person has been supportive and caring and loving, and I would have expected nothing less from this community, because this community has been wonderful. But believe me, it's evolution, though it can be difficult. It's in the long term. It's well worth it.
Well, I think you're in the middle of the difficult part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would.
As time goes on, it gets easier, and obviously you have a new challenge. And I've always said, personally, this may not pertain to you, that when I start not having fun, or it's no challenge anymore, we've done everything we could do, it's time to move on, let somebody else do it, or close that chapter of the book and move to another chapter. And so, I mean, that's how I feel. Do you still have the passion to do?
That's the hard part. Is, if I wasn't enjoying what I was doing, this would be so much easier. I'd be coming in here, clicking my heels, laughing, smiling, and I'm not. I'm.
No, I will admit you're not. When you stopped up today,
Yeah.
that was one of those moods where you could tell it was not a good day for you.
Yeah. Well, and I wouldn't go. I don't. It's a good day, but it's also, I'm not overjoyed. I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic, and I know I'm making the right move. There's been many signs to show that, but at the same time, it's sad. I'm gonna miss my daily interactions with a lot of people, my weekly, monthly interactions with people. I've built a lot of relationships over the last 5 years, and allowed myself to be very visible in the community, and it's certainly a transition period for sure. But I do this week. Tomorrow's the Fayette County Fair. It begins. That's one of my favorite times of the year as the producer of local programming for Armstrong. And one of my goals. It's kind of funny. One of my goals when I came on was, I wondered why don't we do stuff live? We don't do a lot of live broadcasts. And I know
We talked about
we've
that.
talked about that a lot. And a lot of my peers at the office, when I'm speaking to them, updating our techs, our installers on what stuff that's going on. It was always, if I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. I want to get us to the place where we can do something live, and with some help, a ton of help from some of the other producers, we've kind of lit that fire and we're there. And tomorrow, as we're filming this on Thursday night, at the Fayette County Fair, we're broadcasting the Fayette County Fair Queen competition live on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Oh, that'd be great.
And it's kind of neat to kind of see something like that come full circle, where that's really one of my last
Goals.
it's one of my last productions, and it's been a goal my entire time here. So, I always wanted to leave, if I had to leave it better than when I came. And it's definitely, there's been some changes that I think are to the positive, and I hope that's
Your
the case.
personality spoke for itself. You always made us comfortable, and we could do a show and be natural.
Yeah.
And
That's what I want.
and you did a lot of the shows with us,
Right.
and we were a good team to work with.
I agree. I agree. I had a lot of fun, and we've laughed a lot.
Yeah. Well, if we could ever shoot the stuff prior to the show, when we really didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And I hope it didn't come off that way, and I don't think it did.
No.
But Rick, there's a lot of times we counted on you because, with Jerry, he has things going on, and he'd show up, and then I had something going on. 5 minutes before the show, we're ready to go, and you're telling us what to do. I mean, I don't know if everybody else would do that for us,
Well,
because that's not easy.
no, it's nice of you to
You
say.
gotta have the right personality for that, because you can't get disgusted with us.
No, and I never have.
No.
First of all,
No, you didn't.
No, and I've always we've had a really good friendship above all, but I think too our friendship has come to the place to where we can all speak frankly and candidly with each other,
Right.
without a fear of I'm afraid to say something. It's not like that. If you ask me, hey, was that a good show? I give you an honest answer.
Yeah.
And most of the time they are. Sometimes they're not.
No, I know.
But I always said and joked, and I can't recall if I've ever said this on camera, but I know I've said it many times behind the scenes, that we should have done a show about the show. That would have been,
Yeah.
because these guys, again, even though they're comfortable on camera, to know them off camera and to see the preparation that not that they're writing stuff down, but I guess preparation's not the right word. I guess maybe the events that occur that lead into when the red light goes on the camera.
Right.
It's quite.
And most of it's chaotic.
It's chaotic. It's comical. Every now and then we give you little glimpses. I remember when we went to Harrisburg.
Yeah.
A couple years ago to get you guys won an award for the Boroughs Association. They awarded Jeff and Jerry an award for the Jeff and Jerry show.
Right.
And we got to actually go and meet Governor Wolf, and which, by the way, was one of the nicest people.
He really was, wasn't he?
He was amazing. He was so nice.
Yes.
Politics aside.
Took time to
Yes.
be interviewed.
And it was funny because what they say, you get 3 to 5 minutes or so with Governor Wolf.
Right.
And they had to pull him away. He just had the best time talking about Mount
Right.
Pleasant.
Yeah.
Such a nice person, and
And that wasn't planned. We caught him as he was leaving
right.
the convention center.
My point to all that is, I can remember us sitting in the car that morning, right here in the parking lot of the borough. You know what we were doing? We were sitting in the car.
Well, he was sleeping.
Well, maybe at home, because he wasn't even here yet.
Yeah. No, we filmed. Remember, I called him.
Calling him.
I called
and
him.
he's got and it sounded like he was eating a bagel or something.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm on Church Street."
Yeah. I'm on my way.
Yeah. And,
I always have a leadway fire.
that's right. But yeah, that's just one of the many stories, and there were so many. where we're just like, hey, we're not sure what's going to happen today, but boy, this is going to be a lot of fun.
I
And,
have to mention this to you. We did a show a couple weeks ago on Dr. Esposito.
yeah, yeah.
A guy walked to me up on the street and says, "Where's her office at again?" He says, "I need a good doctor." And by seeing the show,
Yeah,
we helped her get another customer.
that's great.
Or a patient, not a
Right,
customer,
right.
but a patient.
Yeah,
And he was happy to know that she was here in Mount Pleasant. you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
That's how things actually carry out from our interviews.
The decision to leave Armstrong. Is there anything you can expound on that, or is that just something that you want to talk about the new position?
No, really, it's. I think what I said earlier is kind of really all there is to the story. It's
Okay.
it's not a controversial thing. It's not a there's nothing sexy about it. It's the fact that I decided to make a move that is going to be best for my family, and that's really it. It all remains to be seen. I do know. I do know. I am going to miss this. This is, I'm starting to think in my head, boy, I wish it wasn't so hot out here because I could sit out here for an hour with you guys.
Well, we may do an hour show. Yeah, we don't know.
I have to go inside there for a second.
Yeah. Or makeup. We could get
Right,
makeup.
right, that's right. But it's nothing like the Glass Festival.
No,
The heat at the Glass Festival usually.
it's been lately hot, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
And we usually eat something though.
we usually
I
eat more
think-
than one thing.
I think that's some of the best shows, and we laugh about it
Mhm.
because we'll do a show, and we try to pick shows that are restaurants. If any restaurants wants us to do a show, we'd be glad to do it.
That's right.
And we're going to talk about the future of the
Yeah.
show, but it was always fun to do the shows because we could eat and talk, and then you'd eat, and I don't know, it was just something different. You
Yep.
could enjoy the food, and
Hard to keep up with Jeff.
Since we haven't
no,
done
I don't eat as much as I used to though.
No, I don't mean eating. I mean
Oh.
on foot.
On foot, yeah.
He just moves, right, Jerry?
Oh.
On the Glass
he
Festival. Well, we got to keep the show moving.
You got to make sure you get every vendor.
Well, you usually, yeah. Well, you guys, they were usually eating when I was working. I want you to know, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I can remember one year we're like, well, let's just keep going. Let's do the show. So me and Jeff go off, and we left Jerry back at the picnic table eating pie.
Right.
We circled back around.
He was
just
eating a
finishing
pie.
his
That's right.
Yeah.
I think it was the second piece of pie. He
That
didn't.
was the only.
He didn't tell us. But anything else about the show? What about the concept? I mean, we talked a little bit about, originally what we were doing, and then we sort of changed it, and had an evolution with the show. You were always good with that.
Yeah. And, I guess evolution is kind of the theme of the show today.
Yeah.
But really, I guess I saw something there in you guys that was more than what I was actually, because I'll be honest, when I came into this position and I was informed that we do a weekly radio show, which this has gone way beyond a radio show.
Yeah, we changed.
No offense to the radio station, but the radio is almost kind of an afterthought at this point.
Right.
But we're happy to be on KVE, of course. But when I was told that, I'm like, and what do you talk about? What do they talk about? And they said, they talk about Mount Pleasant. I said, oh, okay. And I'm thinking, okay. And so as we get to know each other, as the first show I did, I can remember, we were at Mount Pleasant High School, and we were interviewing the principal at the time, I think Mr. Campbell.
Okay.
Is that his name?
He was a superintendent.
Superintendent, yeah. And some others, and we were talking about the prom. Because it was in May when I was starting, and it was about
That's right.
prom safety.
That's right.
And as we talked, again, more off camera, I started to see, man, these guys really have personality. And the show, this is the Jeff and Jerry show. When you look, it was called Mount Pleasant Up Close, but you look at the description in the guide, and it said the Jeff and Jerry show.
Yeah.
I said, we need to call it the Jeff and Jerry Show. Adam Daniels, who's our field marketing manager at Armstrong, who's been a tremendous support throughout my time at Armstrong and a good friend. He then drew you guys.
He did a characterization.
Yeah, and that was our logo for a little while.
Right.
And And man, I love that drawing of you guys. I just thought that was just.
I did look better looking on that.
Jeff, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, there's people, a lot of the folks in town here have Armstrong television
Yeah.
because of the show.
Right.
Because we were bringing so much information to the public.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you can read it in the paper whenever we have a council meeting,
Mm-hmm.
but the actual sitting and discussing that.
Well, I think whenever Armstrong made the decision, I don't know if you were here, not to film council meetings.
Yeah.
I think we became then the information outlet.
source.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think I was hoping that a lot of the information that we talked about in Mount Pleasant transcended
Mm-hmm.
to the other communities in your viewing area because, truthfully, grants are grants or problems with the parks are everybody has them. So, you know, the way we talked about them and the things we talked about, I'm sure if they were sitting there watching it from their community, they would say, "Oh, yeah, that's with us too."
Right, right, absolutely. And I think that's the case. And you know, there's a lot of value in the show that we do. And you know, my hope is, you know, that show, there's going to be a transition period. You know, I would imagine on Armstrong's side there will be a transition of bringing somebody on who can put up with these guys. And then once they find
You
out,
might have to help that person a little bit.
you know, I would hope that that this would be a show that would continue. But the beauty of Armstrong as an employer and as really the overseer of this Armstrong Neighborhood Channel, I was always told. I remember even in my interview, I was always told, when you get in, just do what you enjoy, and it'll be great. And so that's a double-edged sword because there's no guarantee that, you know, whoever takes over, you know, is you know, would decide to continue on. So with certain shows, but my hope is that, you know, the Jeff and Jerry show will go on for many years, and if it doesn't, I think just for old time's sakes at the Glass Festival, I need to just pull out my iPhone and have you guys walk around and
Well, we might have to do something,
maybe
you know.
we go on Facebook Live or something.
But you know, we talk about replay, and every company talks about, well, everybody can be replaced, and I don't think that's. I think that's probably a statement that is too generalized. You can replace a person in that position, but you can't replace the person.
Mm.
And you know, your 5 years, you gained a lot of experience. You gained a lot of knowledge. You gained how to work with people that do the shows.
Yeah.
A new person isn't a robot. It's not a person like you. I mean, he could do something. No, I got allergies. But he could do some things like you did, but he's still not going to be. He's still not going to be you,
Right.
he or she. So,
You know, you always came prepared. I mean, you never knew what the show was going to be half the time, but once you got set up, you knew right away what to do.
yeah.
You know? And how many times you had to, like we're sitting here right now, three of us, and did a show.
Yeah.
You know, and you were a part. I mean, you were right in.
Well, you guys always made me feel welcomed and trusted, and to know that you know, I have a voice, and I always appreciated that because my role primarily is behind the camera. But every now and then, duty calls.
Yeah, I enjoyed having you sometimes, you know, give another side of things. Not that we don't all agree all the time, but again, we're all separate, you know, and you had a different point of view on some of the shows that we did, and
I always agreed with you.
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing we disagree on.
but having you on the show, I look forward to that, and we'd ask you many times. And a couple times you said, no,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, but it was always good to have you.
right. And I always appreciated the opportunity. And I know that if there was something I would want to be a part of, and I would happen to ask, I know what the answer would be.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's bittersweet, and you know, to think that, you know, this is probably our last show together. It's a little bit of a sad thing to think about.
It is. You talk about your family a little bit.
Yep.
And we met your fiance
Yep.
on one of the most controversial shows
Yeah.
that we've had called the Couples
I
Connection.
think her and I are the couples connection champions.
You right now you hold the title, although it's under dispute.
Championship forever because we'll not do
Well,
another show.
That's the whole reason I'm leaving. You gotta leave on top.
On top.
All right.
Well, we did a show with Chuck Moore, the magistrate,
Yeah.
and I think off the air, we talked about actually having him, you and Jerry go in front of him, and plead your case about who was actually right or wrong on the show.
And then we would go to the videotape.
And we would go to the video. So we had a whole show planned out
Yeah.
for that, and then we were going to do a reunion next year
Yeah.
around the same time.
Right. Right.
So it'll be sad if we don't do it.
Yeah.
But time will tell.
Yeah. Absolutely. You never know what the future holds, and hey, life moves fast and is unpredictable, and so, hey, all I can speak for is where we're at right now in this day, in this moment, and who knows what the future holds.
Well, your future though is exciting. You're moving on to a new position. You want to talk a little bit about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, if we got about 4 minutes left. I actually have a background. I've done some sales, a lot of sales. I was a sales trainer and did some sales for a previous cable company I worked for, and I'm going back into that avenue. Had just a really, really good opportunity come up, and it's a local organization, and excited to again take advantage of an opportunity, and for me, it's all about making the best life possible for me and for my family. And, I'm blessed to be able to have a second chance to have create a family atmosphere. And Katrina and I are engaged, and, probably I would be shocked if we're not married by the end of this calendar year. So yeah, we're planning those types of things, and it's a true blessing to be able to have an opportunity to do that, and I want to make it right and do what I can to be the best dad and the best husband and the best provider I can be.
I'm sure there's no way you won't be.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're a well-rounded person that has always kindness in your heart for people and for things.
Thank you.
I wanted to film the wedding.
Yeah.
I could do the wedding real quick.
Well, we could actually do it maybe Monday
Yeah.
before he leaves. We could hurry up and do the wedding.
Hey, Rick, I'm going to give you an offer. I did one in a hot air balloon one time.
I heard about this one. Yeah.
If you want to go up in the sky and be
I've
married,
heard- yeah.
I'll help you.
I might have to see if you and Diane are willing to take a trip to Tennessee, maybe. Talking about going to Tennessee.
Well,
You holler and we'll go.
I tell you, Katrina has found herself a wonderful guy, and you found yourself a wonderful woman.
George.
So I'm sure that's going to be a happy time too, and a good time for you and her.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's a lot of change, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's all good. Got about a minute and a half.
In that minute and a half, we will give you the best luck. I mean,
Thank you.
you've been a hell of a good man.
Thanks.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to miss him.
Yeah.
Well, any last words, Rick?
No.
I know you talked a lot, but I wanted you to talk a lot. I don't want this to be about us.
Yeah.
You know?
No, just a thank you. A thank you to you that's watching. A thank you to everybody in the community. Thank you to you guys for being you and being so just always making me feel at home and cared for. And it's work, but it didn't really feel like it.
No.
No. So what a blast it's been, and I think it's just the beginning for a lot of things. So excited.
Well, Jerry, we really don't know where the Jeff and Jerry show is at this point. We haven't talked to anybody from Armstrong, so I guess hopefully they'll do some replays of previous shows, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely expect some repeats. The channel is going to continue to operate. There's not going to be as much new content for a time.
So I guess we'll let our audience know whenever we know.
Yep.
about the future of the show. We'll probably, hopefully, hear something in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
So, well, we're going to let Rick sign off.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, I think there's. You want me to take this? All right. I think there's only really one thing to say, and that's thank you, and we'll see you down the road.